My name is Dela Hat. And we all know that red cells. Also, in case you do not know, processed red meat, they carry the highest risks of health problems in the body. Like most problems that are being derived from the old age, from the 50s to the 60s and to the 70s, most of them are highly caused by eating too much processed red meat. So we should try our endeavor to eat more of organic red meat and avoid processed red meats that are being sold in the supermarkets. Hi guys, and welcome to my YouTube channel. I am Dela Hat, and today I'll be sharing some very interesting facts about red meat. A lot of us eat red meat, but we do not know the consequences attached to it. Let's say more like the dangers attached to red meat. Like there are a lot of dangers attached to red meat, and we do not know about it. So some time ago, I researched about red meat, and I got to find out that there are a lot of dangers attached to red meat, and I think you should know about them. But however, there are more benefits attached to red meat that maybe you do not know about, and today you are going to know all about them. So first of all, what's meat? Meat can be defined or can be seen as any mammal that can be eaten. That is, any animal that can be eaten is called meat. So let's go over to red meat. What are red meat? Red meat are those meats that are found in mostly cows, lamb, the goats, and like those other animals that are found around our surroundings. Dog meat can also be seen as red meat because it is red when being cooked. So we will go into the types of meats that we know. There are processed meats, there are organic meats, there are white meat, and there are also conventional meat. The processed meats are those meats that are being raised in the factory. They are being given antibiotics and some grains and chemical foods to preserve them. Those red meats are known as, we have sausage, we have ham, we have the canned meat, we have salted meat, we have hot dogs, we have bacons. There are much more of them, and you can also research the kinds of processed meat and you will see all of them there. So all these meats I just mentioned are found in the supermarket. They are being sealed and they are sold in the supermarkets. While the organic meats are those meats that are being raised organically, like those meats that are fed with grasses and all those kind of foods that we also eat at home. Like for example, those cows are being raised by the Fulanese, some goats that we see around us, and like chicken, lamb, the ram, dogs. They are all organic meats because they are fed organically, like they are being fed natural foods. Then we have white meat. White meat are chicken generally because that is where white meat is gotten from. White meats are gotten from chicken. And also we have the conventional meats. The conventional meats are those unprocessed meats, like cows. Like they aren't processed, they aren't being fed antibiotics and grains and all those chemicalized foods to preserve them, but they are conventional meats because they are kind of organic somehow. So that's that. Okay, now let's go over onto the benefits of red meat. No, first of all, I'll tell you the dangers of red meat. Sorry, I was showing you my hairbrush. So the dangers of red meat, they are mostly not much, but they are very dangerous. Like red meat causes diabetes, it causes heart attack, It causes digestive problems and also causes kidney problems and also mortality. But however, most of us get it wrong because not all red meats are bad for the health. Like some red meats are very good and provide very good nutrition for the body. Like let's go to the organic meats because that's the kind of meat that is mostly found here in our country in Nigeria. Organic meats are those meats that are organically raised, given organic foods like grasses and some kind of food, but not chemicals and antibiotics. Those meats are very good for the body. And maybe you don't know, but they contain some very good nutrients. I will show you and tell you right now. They contain vitamin A, vitamin E, they contain iron, they also contain vitamin B3, vitamin B12, vitamin B6, and they contain zinc, creatine, kerosene. They also contain 20 grams of protein and 20 grams of carbohydrate. And people who are vegetarians, they lack a lot of vitamin B12 in their body. Why? Because they do not take red meat. And red meat is a very important factor in determining vitamin B12 because lack of vitamin B12 in the body can cause deficiency, anemia, and it can also cause problems for the muscles and the brain function because the brain needs a lot of nutrients to function, and vitamin B12 is one of the nutrients that is needed for the brain to function. So when the body lacks the nutrients, it affects the brain and it can cause other damages to different tissues and other parts of the body. So for vegetarians who do not take red meats, they have to substitute for taking drugs that contain vitamin B12 to have the nutrients in the body. But people who eat red meat without problem because they have all this nutrients and all this protein and carbohydrate in the body. However, let's go into the dangers of red meat. But I have to make you know something. Organic red meat is completely very beneficial for the body, but processed red meats like the sausage, the ham, the bacon, and the rest of them, the canned meats, those meats that are being sold in the supermarket, they are very dangerous for the body. Like people who are usually into eating sausage roll, ham, bacons, and most of all those processed meats are liable to having very, very bad health problems in the future, especially when you're close to your 40s into your 50s, because all those processed meats are very dangerous and they cause the diabetes, heart problems. They also cause mortality. Mortality is that's dying early, and they also cause digestive problem, and some of them lead to cancers. And this is very dangerous for the body because many of us are confused because people think that eating too much of red meat causes like some kind of health problems to the body, but we're getting it wrong because it's eating processed meat that are being gotten from the factory and that are sealed and they stay in the supermarket for maybe 1 month or more because there are chemicals that are induced in them to keep them fresh for that long. So when we eat too much of those kind of meats, it's very dangerous for our health because it might lead to mortality, like we die very early in the future and getting cancers. That's why most of those problems that we hear from some kind of people, maybe it's because they eat processed meats. There are some people I know, like they do not go to the market to get their food items. So usually they get their meat from the supermarket. And my mom is always like, we have to eat red meat because it's very healthy for us. But processed meat, it's very wrong because we are damaging the system, the body system, and it is causing more heart problems for us in the future. So if you're a person and you eat organic red meat, maybe you get your meat from the market where they do sell those cow meat, goat meat. I would advise you to keep doing that because it is very healthy and it is very good for the body. High in protein and high in carbohydrate. But if you're getting your meat from the supermarket, maybe you like getting your meat from the supermarket, I would advise that you do that once in a while. It shouldn't be a continuous thing or a continuous habit that you're always getting your red meat from the supermarket because it is dangerous to our health. So I advise you get raw organic meats that are not raised in the factory but are raised in the environment, in the nature of life, and they eat grass. So those kind of meats are very healthy. But in Nigeria here, I think almost let me say 79 to 80% of Nigerians do eat organic red meat. That's the cows, the goats, the rams. Those ones are being reared by the Fulanese and some other tribes. Yeah, it's very good. And nobody should ever tell you to stop eating red meat because it's going to kill you. Instead, you just have to know that eating red meat is very beneficial, especially organic red meat. So you try to avoid eating too much of processed red meat. I think processed red meat are found in shawarma, pizza, and most of that baked snacks. Yeah, I think red meat are there. So that's why it's advisable not to take too much of shawarma and too much of pizza. I love shawarma, but I do not take shawarma every time. At least I do take shawarma once in a while because shawarma contains lots of sausage, and also pizza contains sausage and it contains bacon sometimes. So it is advisable to avoid this kind of baked snacks most of the time and then stick to eating organic food because I mean organic food is very good for the health, down to from vegetables down to organic meats. It makes the body very strong. Like people who eat vegetables and organic meats are liable to live very long on earth. So let's just get this clear. There are organic meats and there are processed meats. The cows and the goats and the rams and the lambs that you eat will not affect your health in any way because they are organic, they are raised organically, they eat vegetables and all those kind of things. So the nutrients gotten from those red meats is very good for the health, from the vitamin B12 to the zinc to the protein to the vitamin A. They are all very good for the health. So if you eat red meat, do not let anybody tell you otherwise because the nutrients are very good for your body. So keep eating red meat. But however, if you're a person that eats processed red meat, you should try to slow the rate of eating those kind of meats because it is dangerous for your health. Corned beef is not very good for your health because it is being processed and there are some antibiotics and some chemicals added to it to preserve it. So those chemicals and those biotics added are not really good for the health. So we should try to avoid eating corned beef and most of those other canned meats. So today I believe you have learned something from meat, the processed meat and the organic meat. So we should try to be careful with everything we do, most especially our foods. We should be careful whatever we eat. Eating processed things are really dangerous to the health. So we should try more to eat organic things and things that are very natural and do not have chemicals like attached to them. So if you just like the video you just watched now, if you learned something from all I've said, please click on the like button and also subscribe to my channel. And I will try to share more interesting facts about you. Like today now, you've learned that organic meat is very good for the body. The goats, the rams, and the cows you eat, they are very healthy for you. So do not stop eating them. Thank you for watching and I will see you next time.